welcome back to WDBK-FM. I am the social media director, Emani, and I am here with
news director Dakota Avellino, and we are gracefully joined by president of the college, Mrs.
Dr. Pugh Bassett.
Yes, it's lovely to have you here. We've been trying to get this happening for a while. I had the idea like a month ago. Oh. So I'm really glad it's finally happening.
I'm really excited too. We've been brainstorming this thing back and forth. It was brought up like months ago.
Yeah.
And this is exciting.
Yeah, I was trying to do it in February too. I was trying to set it up in February, and then it got pushed back as well as snow days. And then you're obviously a very busy lady, rightfully so. You've got a lot going on.
Every month of the year, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, no.
February, March, April, May.
Well, it's, Women's History Month, but also for it to be followed up by, or previously coming from it, like Black History Month. From that to now, what better time to
anytime is a good time. I'm here and available, so I'm glad I'm here to be with you all today.
Yes, it's very exciting. I think our first question would just be like to start from the beginning. So like, how did you get into education? What was your first job in education?
So interestingly enough, my first taste of education is probably going to be an interesting Black history moment. I went to school upstate New York and decided I wanted to be an education major. When you go into education, you have to get a teacher to sponsor you so that you can do your student teaching experience. The school that I went to in upstate New York was 0.5% people of color, predominantly white. And my teacher sponsor would not allow me to come through the front door. Right. So I only had to and she was the one that was giving me a ride. So she made me go around the back, knock on the back door so that I can get a ride with her. This was in 1992. And excuse me, I told the director of the department about the experience, and I wasn't really comfortable with the sponsor. When I went into her classroom, she told me I can teach anything. I went in for history, by the way. I could teach anything but Native American, African American history. So I had to teach something that was very, very lily white, straight-laced, doesn't have any diversity at all. Yikes. So when I complained to the director of the department, I got pulled out of the program. I ended up not finishing my teaching experience at the college. Went to graduate school and ended up teaching at the college. So my first job was teaching an African American Studies course at Temple University. So an interesting pathway to that, but it was the experience there that I think helped me become more motivated into going into that area.
Okay, and how long have you been in the educator?
So I started. So I can say that I can safely say my first education type job, it wasn't necessarily education in and of itself. It was more like an advocacy position. I was 22 in 1994, and we went to San Francisco, worked with the Harlem Freedom Schools, and we did some advocacy work. So I would start my career at that point because I think that's when I learned about how passionate I was about educating people. In that case, it was more about their communities and access and all that. But it was kind of a sliver of education, I would say. So I've been in education for over 35 years.
Dang. That's a long tenure.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, actually, yes.
For me.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
You actually said, you said my year, and I was kind of like, hold on now, hold on. No, I definitely understand that. My mother was or is still in the educator. Okay. She started off in the same realm and has been doing it for the same amount of time.
I tend to think that people who love education, education seems to find them sometimes. Some pursue it and some seek it out. Others, it just happens to find you. And I think in my case, it found me.
What, was becoming the president of a college, was that your original goal?
Absolutely.
Or what was your original goal as an educator to end up?
I don't think I knew what I wanted to do as an educator. My educational path probably took a lot of dips and dives, probably more than the average person. I started off, as I said, teaching at Temple. I taught African American studies. I also taught dance because I was a dancer. I taught high school students. So I was the director of an Upper Bound program. So I was able to work with some high school students and did some teaching in that area, resume writing, skills building, that kind of thing. So I did the administrative part after I did the teaching, well, maybe sometimes at the same time. Then I kind of geared towards just the administrative part, worked at the Community College of Philadelphia, did some Upper Bound work there. And then I ended up at the Department of Education for 21 years. And I did more policy development and stuff like that. So I was in and out of different various aspects of education, K-12 space, higher education space, K-12 space, higher education space, and then ended up here. This job, actually, I was the executive county superintendent of schools. So I was in charge of all the schools in the county and
like high schools or
all the school districts.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sorry.
So I was on the board for the college.
Oh, wow.
So I was a board member before I became in this position, and had a passion for the work that's done here in connection with the K-12 space. And when the position became available, I just went for it. It wasn't something I aspired to be. I just think I'm one that I navigate by where I feel like I fit, what feels comfortable for me.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes I feel like there's a path that's already ordained for me and I just need to walk it. But it was a leap of faith because I came here. I started first as the VP and came here during COVID.
Wow,
which was
really?
a huge leap of faith because people were losing their jobs. And here I am switching jobs, comfortable 21 years at the Department of Ed, and just switching. It took a leap of faith.
So what was your influence as far as just getting into the education space in general?
That's a good question. I think that my upbringing was an influence. I think my community, I grew up in New York City in the Bronx. And I think that just wanting to be something better than what I had, right? I tell people this story all the time. Education failed me. I grew up in a predominantly African-American and Latino community, had predominantly white teachers and administrators, and was told by my high school counselor I would never amount to anything. And that was the turning point for me because I could have gone one of two ways. I could have given up and believed what she told me, or I could have, aspired to be something different than that. And I aspired to be something different to that. Went back after I got my doctorate and reintroduced myself to the counselor who said I wouldn't amount to anything. And it was an interesting experience there.
That's wonderful.
She remembered me.
Wow.
Wow.
How did
She
that
remembered
go?
me. Oh, it was interesting. She was shocked. She doesn't remember saying what she said, but I did remind her that, that was something that she told me. But I wanted to make sure that I can contribute to giving someone else a much better experience than I have for myself.
Well, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
Always.
And also, I want to say, I'm sorry, I introduced you as Mrs. Pugh Bassett. You're a doctor. I apologize. I meant no disrespect. I just realized that I did that. I am so sorry.
It's all right.
Do you want to continue?
No, whatever question you have next.
I was going to ask, just on a day-to-day, what does your role consist of? What do you get done on a daily basis as president?
That's
you
funny.
don't have to be,
my day
everything.
is different every day. Every day. Most days I'm in a lot of meetings, talking about what we need to talk about, and other days I am, actually out trying to promote the college, expand the footprint of the college. My day does consist of a lot of troubleshooting. It consists of a lot of politics and policy. I just came back from the State Assembly Budget Committee last week to advocate on behalf of community colleges as it pertains to this massive increase in state health benefits that's impacting the colleges. I do a lot of leading social justice committee for the New Jersey President's Council. I serve as the chair for the Economic Viability Committee for the New Jersey Council for Community Colleges. I do a lot day to day. I could never describe a typical day because it just doesn't exist for me, right? It just depends on what comes at me. I try to spend some time, especially when the weather breaks, walking around, seeing students, being around students. Sometimes I'll hang out in a cafe, bring my laptop and just work upstairs. Yeah. Because
Right in plain
I
sight.
really miss being with students. That's
Yeah.
something I really love most. But I know that my path is forcing me to have a larger impact. So I'm trying to be obedient in that sense. But I do enjoy being around students. So when I first started here, I jumped into a couple of TikToks and we did a couple of dances, and it's fun. It's what grounds me. It's what keeps me grounded.
Well, I always say, the youthfulness around me, the immaturity around me keeps me young.
Right. Definitely. We keep you grounded. We keep you humble. I think a lot of people assume that we're all the same age when you are like more mature than the rest of us. Definitely.
I just, I was saying earlier, it's all about understanding and having a boundary to set. And also, like, you can't just come in anywhere and do what you feel and be comfortable,
Right.
especially if you're not familiar with the environment, so to speak.
Yeah.
So once everybody around you, you could kind of check the temperature a little bit, then you are able to move forward in the right direction.
Right. And what you were saying about being humble and like down to earth and like amongst students and stuff, like that's what really inspired me to invite you for this interview, because I sit in the radio station a lot and I just listen to the radio, and you're on there sometimes, you'll come on and this is President Pugh Bassett, you're listening to 91.5 WDBK, and I thought, I asked Nick, I was like, do you think she'd want to come on for an interview? Do you think we could interview her? And I was like, this would be really cool.
So how often are you here?
So Nick and I, during Eagles season, we shoot the breeze all the time. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I am
Go Birds.
Football fanatic. Yes, I'm a sports fanatic. I like basketball and football, but lately it's been primarily football. So I come every now and then. I check in on Nick. I've known Nick since he was little.
Wow.
Well, yeah, he was here. He went here before working here. I mean, so yeah, it's interesting. A young Nick Earnshaw.
A young Nick Earnshaw.
I always call him by his full name.
What's the most influential part for you in this job? Yes.
So I would say, so I'm going to answer that question in a different way, if you don't mind. So I think that the thing that makes me feel good when I go out and people find out who I am, because I will tell you that I don't wear this title on my sleeve. So when people see me, they don't, I don't walk in, hey, I'm Dr. Pugh Bassett. It doesn't, so they get to know me, and then suddenly it comes out and folks are like, oh, you didn't know, kind of take the temperature, right? I didn't tell you who I was because I was trying to see what kind of vibe you guys had. The thing that makes me feel good when folks find out is that one nod, like, I'm proud of you. Right? So if you've ever been in a space, especially as a Black woman, if I'm in a space with someone, folks who may not have had the same kind of success, right? And they find out what I do, and they'll just look at me almost like an auntie or grandmom or, somebody who endearing, and just said, like put their hand on my leg or my shoulder or something and just kind of give me that, I'm really proud of you nod. I don't have to know them from a can of paint.
Right.
But, and that happened to me recently. I just recently was told that I'm one of the awardees for the NAACP Visionary Award.
Wow.
And they came to me and thank you. They came to me and balloons and flowers and stuff. And the comment that was made by the person that presented this to me was, we see you. And I thought, and that just kind of gave me chills, because the journey hasn't been easy. Right. And so just to know that people recognize, because this job is tough. It's tough. There's a lot of aspects to it. It's not all pretty. It's not all sexy. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this job. A lot of times I can't turn it off. So I take it home with me. I may have meetings all day. Then I'm going home to work. So it does compete sometimes with family and friends and, social life and that kind of thing. So, and then you have to be careful. When I go to supermarket, I have to be careful. If I, go into a community where people will notice me or know who I am, I have to be careful how I dress, what I say, what I'm doing. So it's a very challenging position that you take with you everywhere you go. So I would say, if I could answer the question that way, that what makes me feel good about the work is when people notice.
I mean, you're only one of the second or third women, I believe, to be president of the college.
The second woman
and the first person of color. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is just,
that's a big step.
Which is awesome. I mean, it's crazy it came so late in the game. We've had 6 or 7 presidents of the college.
5 before me.
5 before you, yes. I was making sure. I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, the wrong number. But yeah, that's just, I mean, you're breaking through not just one glass ceiling, but 2. And that's incredibly powerful and it's incredibly inspiring. And I feel like people at this college because especially at a community college, you have a lot of lower income people who can only go here because they can't go anywhere else. They can't afford to go anywhere else. And I feel like it's really inspiring that they can look at you and be like, well, look at her. She's the president of the college,
Yes.
Like, it's awesome. Just amazing. And especially, like you said, coming from the Bronx, which is, not the most affluent,
the forgotten
rich
borough.
Yes. Right. I'm not trying to talk anything bad on the Bronx. Not anything on the Bronx, but I'm saying it's not
true. It's
not
forgotten
Manhattan.
borough. Especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Forgotten borough.
Yeah.
I saw the streets.
But I just mean all respect. It's just awesome. And
Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're awesome. You're
Thank
so
you.
cool.
So, can you tell us a bit about your mission? Like, what's your personal mission?
Yes.
So
for being a president.
you gave me this question or the note, and I had to make sure that I say this correctly because I use this as so I'm very into proverbs and quotes, right? And I use that oftentimes to be able to convey something that I want to say or to be able to connect. So there are 2 that are really, really important to me that responds to this question. So the first one is an African proverb that says that if you think you're too small to make a difference, you've never been in a room with a mosquito, right? So it forces you to think about how something so small could have a huge impact. But the one that I really live by is one that I use in my email, my personal email message. I slept and I dreamed that life is all joy. I woke and I saw that life is all service. I served and I saw that service is joy. And that for me is my mission, to serve. I tell people all the time that I am blessed to be in a position where I serve where I work. Some people have to find a community service project to do after work or something to do on the side. I get to do the work here. The impact that we can have on students who come through Camden County College is my service. And I can sleep at night knowing that whatever I did, no matter how hard the day was, I was able to serve the students in Camden County College.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like speechless. I was like trying to think of like a like professional response to that, and I'm just like,
she's absolutely speechless.
Gobsmacked. Like, so I apologize.
Okay.
No, but that's really awesome. I know exactly what you're saying. Like the ability to do good work and not have it be separate from your like day job. Like that you most like you said, like I come to school here and this is my important work kind of, but I don't get paid to, I don't get paid to do the news, which is fine. I'm not complaining about it. I love doing it. But like, I get what you're saying. Like that's really powerful. And I think that's really important. And I was going to follow up with that by asking like how you feel about the importance of community colleges, considering they're kind of like a dying trade.
So no, I wouldn't say that. I think community colleges are critical. I sit on the board for Rowan University School of Education. We had a meeting just this morning, and one of the things that I talked about was the importance of community colleges in the pathway for some students. Some students don't want to do a 4-year bid. I mean, not to akin it to prison sentence, but some students don't want to do a 4-year, make a 4-year commitment.
Right.
The 2 years is digestible. It's a small dose. You can get a job, you can get a certificate. And now in our case, you could also do something with workforce development if you want to go through an apprenticeship pathway. So community colleges are really important for that. I think that for particularly younger students in the perception of students who want to come and get something that they can get quickly and not have to wait too long, this is a great option. For adult students or older students, it's a great option for those who have sacrificed it all for their own children and then finally decided that they want to come back and do something for themselves, right? They don't have 4 years to give that, but they can do it in a 2-year time period. For someone who wants to get promoted at a job and feels like if I get this associate's degree, then I can get the management position. That makes sense for them. So we are a great option for people for many different reasons that 4-year colleges can't be for, right? So I think that community colleges are critical for that. But there are immense studies that show that community colleges also provide a great workforce for communities, right? For the counties, for the state, and overall, the way that community college students contribute to the economy is critical.
Yes.
So I think that there is a significant value for community colleges. My mother graduated from a community college. My son comes here. My husband goes here.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I think
It's a family affair.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a genuine investment. Like I didn't come here because this was a job. I came here because I believed in the work that this institution does. As a board member and as someone whose why is grounded and rooted in the mission and vision of this institution.
Yeah, I completely agree, because that what you said is basically my exact reason for coming here. Like I took 2 gap years and I didn't do great at the end of high school because of COVID and stuff. So my GPA tanked and I was like, you know what? I can't really get into Rutgers with a 2.0. Let me try Camden County. And this way I can build up my GPA from here. Last semester I had a 4.0. So like it proves that it's not just about, it wasn't me, it was, the circumstances. And it gave me an opportunity to rebuild my resume in a way. This way, when I get out of here, I'm better suited to go to a 4-year college to finish my education at a 4-year, like at Rutgers or
example
Rowan's.
Of a student who needed that option.
Yeah, and also it was also very much monetary as well.
Yeah.
College is expensive.
Well,
even I'm out of county, so I pay even more. So it's hard even paying for tuition here. I couldn't imagine going for 4 years at a big university.
Affordability is key. Affordability and accessibility is important for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's inspiration for us all. I actually only transferred here at the beginning of this year.
Oh, okay.
So this is like my first full year here.
That's great.
I was actually not supposed to be here for this semester, but I decided to stay because of the radio station, because it had everything to do with what I wanted to go to school for. And I felt like Camden County could be tailored more towards what I was going to school for.
Oh, I love that.
RCBC,
I love that.
Definitely not from this county. I'm
you were
Camden,
absolutely meant to be here, so we'll take you.
I've seen it all.
Oh wow!
But yeah, that I've had my gap years. I'm parent. Like everything about being here. It just aligns so much better than
I love that.
Where I was previously. So I think that this is a great place. And I think that
thank you. I
you
appreciate
make
it.
this very interesting.
Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
I have zero complaints about this establishment, about this institution.
No, not at all.
I have one, and it's really stupid, and it's about logging into your portal. I hate that you have to get an email sent to you every time.
Oh, well.
That's not your problem. I'm just being silly. I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just being silly. Sorry.
So, outside of being the president here, what other things do you, I guess, or have had interest in here in the school, like program wise, or what can you definitely for certainly say, okay, this is something that I believe in?
So are you asking what I do outside of work? Is that?
No, more like the programs here.
Within the school?
Yeah, within the school that you've seen outside of being the president. Like you can say, okay, this is, I know for a fact
great work.
This is great. This is
Yeah.
great work.
So one of the
done.
things that is a kind of a cornerstone of my administration is serving populations that we did not serve well before I came here. And one of those populations is our justice impacted population. It's near and dear to my heart. I believe that students who have themselves or family members that have been impacted by the justice system
Mm-hmm.
deserve to have a fair shot. And we were unable to identify students because they didn't want to self-disclose when we first started trying to roll out opportunities for that population. We got a grant for $10,000 that we couldn't even spend because we couldn't find students that would say or admit that they were justice impacted. And it took a couple of years before we started creating a climate that made students feel comfortable enough to self-disclose. And now we have like 35 students that have come together. We do activities, we do group discussions, we do all kinds of things, and we're now building that to connect to services and work with some of the halfway houses to be able to make sure that students who get out, if that's their issue, that they get out and they get an opportunity to do better and be better, and hopefully be the best version of themselves, so that when they get through Camden County College experience, they can have another chance at life. So that's one that I'm really, really proud of. The county just recently created like a reentry type of program that we are now going to try to connect with, so that we can kind of embed it more in the county experience and connect students to resources. And you know, to me, I feel like dealing with that population or providing a safe space for that population is going to change the way their outcome is. They won't go back. They won't commit the same crimes that they committed, or if they have a family member that's impacted, they themselves won't follow that same pathway. And so that's one that I'm really, really proud of, because I think that one is important to me. I think that's a population that has constantly been ignored. And I think that there's some great talent and jewels in the rough in that population of students.
It's really interesting that you bring that up, because I was just talking to Emani about this the other day, how there was a student in one of my classes who I was, I'm not going to say any names, obviously, who I was talking about how I was interviewing you soon. And he was like, oh, I love her. She's the reason I'm at this school in the first place. I was in prison and she helped push my application through. And that's the only reason I'm here. And I was like, wow, that's like super cool. So it's really interesting that you said that, because like that's the first thing I thought of was that guy. And I was like, that's awesome that you have actual people who are like testimonials to like what you've done for our school, and that's really important and that's really awesome.
Yeah, that was a labor of love. I mean, it still is, because it's fairly new. I've only been here for 4 years, so changing the culture, because it's not just, you can't just bring students in and throw them in there. You have to change the culture, because people have to be ready to receive that. And so we're still working on some things, little things that we're noticing that we need to fix to make this a safe space for justice impacted students. But I think we did a really nice job so far, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, I think so. So I think that my next question would be, what would you like to see more from us as students?
I think I would like to see more students supporting other students. I think that I don't see enough of that. Students at games and sports activities, and showing up for students when they do performances, and I just don't think I see enough of that. And I don't necessarily blame students, because I know that being a student at a community college may also mean that you're working a full-time job, that you're taking care of a family, that there are some other things that go into that. But I would love to be able to see, and I wouldn't assign that just to students. I would love to see faculty and staff at baseball games and basketball games as well too. But I would just love to see more students supporting other students, because I think there's some value add to that. I think that I try my best to try to create a community where we can build opportunities for students to have. This radio station is one of those things that we recently relaunched, so that students have an opportunity to have some level of camaraderie. I think that that's something that we try to replicate, but we don't have that natural organic community because we don't have a dorm, right? So in a dorm, you get up in your pajamas, you go to the lounge, and you're hanging out and you're talking. It's innate, because it's just the nature of the space. We don't have that, right? When I first came here, one of the things that I noticed was that students would go to class and go sit in their cars, and I would knock on the windows. Why are you sitting in your car?
I do that
because I'm watching Netflix, because I'm making phone call, because I'm eating. And that was before we redid the cafeteria. And then we completely overhauled that cafeteria. And I said, listen, my vision is I want someone to say, meet me at the caf. Like that is my vision. So however you can manifest that, I had to tell my team, I want that to be the end result. And we flipped that thing and, did everything we could to make it a much better space. And now it's hopping. There are students who didn't even know what it looked like before. It felt like it was dead.
Yeah.
Students weren't hanging out. It wasn't set up in a way where students can kind of sit together or sit alone or whatever your preference was. It didn't have the pool table. It didn't have all the extra bells and whistles. And so now I think it's a little bit more, it creates a natural environment for students to be able to relate to one another and hang out with one another. So the next step then would be, let's get students to start supporting each other. And I think that would be something I would love to see in the future.
The seating in the cafeteria is very comfy. I'll be honest. It's very comfy.
I've had my fair share of like sitting there, I am a person who is normally on the go. I have a certain time frame that I need to make sure I stay in between normally when I'm here.
And I get it.
But I decided that this semester I'd make more time to spend more time here. So I have spent some time in the
it's not your fault.
Area.
I'm not blaming you. I know that's the nature of students who come here, that you just don't necessarily have the time dedicated to sit for hours. I get it.
No, not even that. It's more like now I don't have to be in a rush. I can take my time and not everything has to be.
Yes, I like that.
So now that I've taken on that mindset, I've spent time exploring the school, going around to the different buildings and seeing different things. I'll take an opportunity to go for a walk.
Well, then I want to see you in Roosevelt sometime. Come to my office and say hi.
For sure.
I think it's just the issue with kids not bonding, or adults, I guess is what we are, students at like a community college, is because it's such a wide range of like demographics, for one. For two, people don't really have a reason to get together, which is why I feel like maybe if we pushed the clubs more onto people, because we have so many clubs. And that's what, when I got here, I instantly like went on the page and I looked at all of the clubs we had, because I was like, I'm bored out of my mind. I don't really have many friends anymore because I'm grown now and everyone's moved off to wherever. I need to find something to do, and that's where I found WDBK. And I thought, once a week I'll have my show. Now I'm the director of news, and now I do like all this stuff, and I've had opportunities come up because of the station, and it's like this amazing thing that has happened to me, and it's a great part of my life. I've met some awesome people who I definitely wouldn't have met, like Emani. She's great. Wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for the station. I feel like clubs and like associations like that are really important for especially community colleges, because we have to put the community back in the college, because it's not,
I agree with that.
There's no community anymore, and I feel like that's what there needs to be.
Yeah,
there's no support for each other.
COVID had an impact on folks' desire to come out of their shell. I think we're better now than we were. I mean, when we first came out of COVID, it was terrible. I mean, students didn't even want to talk to one another. So I think it's a lot better now. But, I want to respond to two things. First, I want to respond to your comment about different generations or different ages. That's the beauty.
Oh yeah, I wasn't trying to hate on it.
No. But it is a challenge, because what a 40-year-old enjoys is not the same as what an 18-year-old enjoys, right? And so trying to create programming that attracts students from different generations is a challenge, right? It's a challenge. So I agree. I think that we should definitely try to promote some activities. We've been getting student feedback, and we listen. Students say they want to do a party, they want to do, let's do it. We'll try to do something at some point where students have an opportunity to do that. But I really want for students to feel like this is a place where they can just come. When my husband first started here, because he had a bit of a separation, but when he first started, he said they used to come on the weekends. Him and his friends would just come here on the weekends and hang out. Like, imagine a community college being a space where you just, let's go over to the college and hang out. That's what we would love to be at some point, where the community finds this place as a place of refuge, a place of, where they can create memories and have fun, right? So we're trying to get there. There's some challenges to getting there, but we're going to try to get there and make it happen again.
Right.
The other thing I want to respond to, though, is your comment about the being bored and wanting to figure out
Sorry.
how to, no, it's okay, to create opportunities. We were also told that, maybe we could try some things at night and see if students, we took a stab at fire pits at one point. We did it for the pep rally.
That sounds fun.
And
That sounds
students
like a
were
lot of fun.
like, can you keep those out? So now we throw them back out in the fall. Every fall we'll throw them out so students can sit around and, but those are trial and error. We'll take a put our toes in the water, see if it takes. If it does, we'll make it work. And if it doesn't, we'll try something different. So, we had students say, put up the volleyball tents in the summer so students can play.
Hammocks?
Do we
Hammocks?
Oh, that would be cool.
We thought about the hammocks. We talked about the hammocks. We got the Adirondack chairs. So we're exploring. We're playing around with stuff to see.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to put a hammock up and then find out you're not going to class, though.
That's not how it works. But
We
okay.
do in the class from the hammock. I will be on Zoom
On the hammock.
from the
We do.
courtyard.
We have some good solid trees that we can hang some hammocks from. Yeah. But it's a great idea, and it's feedback we've gotten from students.
And we have a pretty decently sized campus too to have
do
space
so
for that.
many things.
Like when
So
you
many
try to walk
different,
over
we could do,
from
like,
Lincoln.
pep rallies, different things like that.
we do the pep rally. You just started this semester?
I started last semester.
Okay, we had a pep rally in the fall. So if you come back in the fall, join the
I'll
pep
be
rally.
back next year.
Sure hope so. I sure
totally
hope so.
won't.
But I would really like to create more spaces for students to be able to kind of hang out, be engaged, and that kind of thing. So stay tuned.
Yes, that's very exciting. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see more. I did have my first experience last semester, like coming here at night, catching the ensemble and their performance, which was amazing. I always shout them out because they did such a great job.
The
and
ensemble?
of course, I love Radiohead. Yes, they performed Radiohead.
Like a band?
Computer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
That was fantastic. And of course, Professor Billingsley is always
He's
fantastic
awesome.
as well. Shout out to him. Professor, second time in a row this semester. But I enjoy being here. I enjoy coming out here, and just getting to meet you and speak with you has taught me a lot and makes me want to definitely explore a bit more.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, listen, it's a work in progress, but listening and hearing from students and really trying to figure out how to make this a better experience for you is really what matters to us. So, and just don't forget as a student that those folks who are in front of you, be it faculty or staff, we all came with our own histories as well, right? We have our own experiences and we have our own whys. And what motivates me is why I do what I do right now at this institution.
That's great. Yeah.
I do really enjoy it here. I feel like a big part of why students don't go to a lot of school events is I feel like there's an issue where people just don't know about them sometimes. I think that's a big thing because like sometimes something will happen and I'll hear about it like a week later and I'm like, when did that happen? But that's just, I think people just don't know about it. And I think that's that's not on you at all. That's not at all what I'm trying to say whatsoever.
No, it's great feedback. We're on all social media platforms. So we're trying to do better and be better at communicating.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think we're all working on that part, the social media
collectively.
aspect. Yeah. Here in the radio station as well. That's a project that definitely I try to tackle as best as I can. And it's a lot of work.
It is to stay on top of that. It is a lot.
And stay on top of trends and micro trends and everything that's popular. And that's why like I'll see something and I'll be like, hey, this is kind of funny. Emani, do you want to do this for WDBK?
Yes.
Or something like that. But I mean, it's like it's always nice to like stay on the level as your audience, and our audience is people coming out of high school or older people who are coming back to school, so you kind of have to try to be funny to both of those groups, and it's kind of hard to do that sometimes.
It is
so it's a fun time. It's definitely interesting. We have a blast here.
Doctor, can you let everyone know how we can reach out to you, how we can get in contact?
So if you are a student in person on campus, you can certainly come by my office in Roosevelt Hall. I'm on the second floor. If you want to call the office, you can certainly give us a call. You just call into the main number, or you can call 379-4937. I have to remember that. Or you can certainly hit us up at on any of the social media platforms, and the information will get back to me if there's something that needs to be communicated. I do have an email address, presidentsoffice@camdencc.edu.
All right.
Well, it was awesome sitting down with you, Dr. Pugh Bassett.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sorry
obviously.
again for saying Mrs. earlier. I didn't
It's
mean
okay.
anything by it.
Like I told you earlier, it's not my identity. I don't wear my title on my sleeve.
Yeah, that's true. You did say that. That's right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just know I always like to, if someone's a doctor, I'm calling you a doctor because you worked for that. You earned that, you know?
That I did.
Yes.
And I'm paying for it.
Yeah. I just made a little mistake. But thank you so much for sitting
Thank
down with
you.
us. This has been an awesome opportunity. And we want to be able to put your voice out there so that students know that you're just a person too.
That
You're not some scary president.
That I
just
started as
another
a student
person.
and worked my way up. So
Exactly.
you two will be in the same position, and hopefully one day I'll be seeing someone interview you all.
We'll
I
come
hope
right
so.
back. We'll come right back. You want to?
Yeah. All right. I believe that is all. I am Emani.
And I'm Dakota.
And I'm Lovell.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Thank you for watching, listening. This has been a wonderful interview on WDBK-FM.